What's up guys, Kids or Kicks here and welcome back to another episode of this Crystal Palace FIFA 16 career mode. Still in pre-season of course, European International Cup. We're going to be taking on Empoli today, and after this game there was going to be a lot of transfer action of course. We still haven't really bolstered the squad in the way that we would like, and we are still trying out this new 4-4-2 diamond formation. So we're going to play it again. It's been fairly effective so far, but the standard of opposition haven't quite been as good as Empoli. We're expecting them to give us a bit of a tougher test here today. So that'll be a better indication of whether the formation is good enough or not. But a mistake from Kurt Zuma allows a chance for Empoli. Pap Soare tries to block the shot, commits himself, couldn't do so. And we go one down inside 10 minutes, which is not the ideal start by any stretch of the imagination. It's a good finish. You can see Soare there getting his tackle all wrong, but the fact of the matter is the goal came from a mistake from Kurt Zuma trying to dribble it out from the back, and then we were denied what is a stonewall penalty. New man Alvaro Vidal showing his quick feet, getting into the box. There's contact. He doesn't go down dramatically, literally just falls on his front, and somehow the referee decides to ignore our protest. So wasn't happy with that, but Dwight Gale shortly afterwards skipped through the defence, had the chance to get the equalising goal, and somehow keeper managed to pull off a save. So when you got chances like that, you need to be scoring. You could see Gale's reaction. He couldn't quite believe he'd missed. But straight after that, Empoli get the chance to make us pay. They go forward, spring through the defensive line, but that finish was absolutely woeful. But it's a really, really open game. You can see they're cutting through our defence far too easily, which I'm not happy about. This time Butland makes a good save, but the ball is still live. It's headed goalwards, but fortunately not on target. But we look really, really suspect to the back. We're not defending very well at all. We're not winning the ball in midfield. We're not doing a lot, basically. So, starting to wonder whether this formation is the best way to play. We'll soon see. Before half-time, Empoli have the chance to make it 2-0. Our defence is all over the show once again. And there is a man in the middle with nobody within 10 yards of him. So he just brings the ball down and says thank you very much. He's got a chance to take a touch. That should be a difficult first-time finish. We should be putting a challenge in there and trying our best to put him off. It doesn't happen, but we make changes. Half-time whistle goes. It's Balassi and Jamie Vardy that are both going to be coming on as we look to try and work our way back into this game. The space opens up for Balassi. He tries to finesse one into the far corner. Doesn't get the execution quite right, but it's a little bit more promising from our point of view. And then Pap Soare gets in down the left and smashes the ball into that top corner with his left foot. That goal reminded me, not quite the same because there was no run, but reminded me of Ryan Giggs' finish against Arsenal in that epic FA Cup tie. But just getting down the channel and smashing it past the keeper. I'm pleased for Soare as well because he hasn't been our best player by any stretch of the imagination. He made a few mistakes last year. I'm hoping he can cut that out of his game and really push on because he's got all the attributes to be a decent player. We made a couple more changes then. Joe Ledley coming on. But it didn't matter. We created absolutely nothing from that second half period, really. And we crash out of the International Cup. Not too disappointed, but, it is only pre-season. The main thing is that we bolster our squad. Sully Kaikai, as you can see, will be departing the club. Mark Bartra, we had an offer accepted. We've identified him from a defensive point of view as probably our main transfer target. So we are pretty desperate to get him in. You can see, despite going out at the semi-final stage of that international tournament, they've still granted us over £1 million. So little addition to the transfer budget, which is always nice. We can always, of course, adjust the budget and put that towards the wages if we feel the need to do so. But excellent news, the news we've all been waiting for. Francis Coquelin has decided to join the club. We've had many negotiation rounds with him, and finally we've managed to come up with a deal. So really, really pleased. £11.5 million, the transfer fee. Some of that we're going to recoup here. As you can see, Jack Hunt is moving to Sunderland. He spent last season on loan at Sheffield Wednesday. He's come back. We don't need him. We've got Martin Kelly, Joel Ward as well. So he's going to go. I think we're going to sell him. We'll get about 1.8 million, I think, to the transfer budget. Every little helps. But Marco Sau is another player that we're looking to bring in. Not a priority position that we're looking to strengthen at the moment, I must say. We're more worried about getting people in at the back. This guy particular, Yannick Vestergaard, we think would be a superb addition. 6'6", just 23 years old, playing for Werder Bremen. He's got plenty of potential, of course. And he's not overly expensive either. But Mark Bartra has been a tough cookie. Negotiation round after negotiation round. And we still haven't managed to find a deal. So I thought maybe about going in for some other defenders. But what transfer fee wise, you'd end up paying a lot of money and similar wages if you want a decent defender. So it's while you've got the ball rolling on one of them, you might as well just a little extra effort and try and squeeze him and see if we can get him to join the club. Marco Sau again rejected our offer, so we upped it, give him what he wanted. But Yannick Vestergaard as well, he is reluctant to sign the deal. He's a top player at his current club, he says, so doesn't believe that this move will suit him. Well, to be honest, given our lack of cover, he would probably be a top player at our club as well. So we're going to offer him crucial first-team player status in the hope that that would persuade him to sign on the dotted line. Mark Bartra now decides he don't want to relocate, so we kind of give up on that deal. We don't go back in for him just yet. It's Yannick Vestergaard now who's become the main target. Thomas Callas, he's a player from Chelsea. We're going to try and bring him in on loan. As I said, with Mark Bartra rejecting the contract, it was important for us to have a look at the market. And we had a look, and there was no one else that we really wanted to buy or could afford. I think Mark Bartra, obviously we've got a sizable budget, but Mark Bartra is a very established defender for an 11.5 or £11 million price tag. Aymeric Laporte is another player. He was very much the go-to guy on FIFA 15. You wanted a good defender, you went for Laporte. But you can see we're putting in a few offers. This is basically a contingency plan if, again, Bartra decides he doesn't want to come. Victor Ruiz, Ruben Vetso and David Astori. These are all players. We're just guessing that Bartra will reject the move again. So we want to have the ball rolling on a couple more negotiations. As you can see, Felipe Santana, we sent an inquiry for him and they asked for just $2 million. So, yeah, of course we're going to pay that kind of thing. Especially when you want to get a defender in. But Laporte, negotiating with him, his wage demands are fairly high, but understandably. We've offered him what we think is a reasonable deal, but don't forget he would cost £19 million. Now, Mark Bartra, this time we upped the wage a little bit. We gave him £80,000 a week, which is what he's demanding, in an attempt to get him into the club. David Astori, the bid was accepted for him. His wage demands are 60k. We're trying to undercut that. His price tag we offered for him was £8 million. But panic is kind of over because Yannick Vestergaard has agreed to join the club. Obviously, we're still negotiating with a load of other players, so we're going to put that on hold for the time being. We're not going to reject it. We're going to just leave it running in the background. And, if we really do get stuck and it is panic stations, we'll just go back and accept that offer. That's fine. Aymeric Laporte decides he doesn't want to join. That's fair enough. £90 million was a big fee anyway. So with that, and if a player doesn't particularly want to be here, we're not going to bother. But finally, the news we were really waiting for. In terms of a defensive point of view, Mark Bartra has finally signed on the dotted line and has become a Crystal Palace player. A superb signing as far as we're concerned. Got that experience at the top level. Of course, he come from Barcelona, 81 rated overall, so he'll slot next to Kurt Zouma in that back line to hopefully form a formidable partnership. But we need a little bit more money. We want to get the Vestergaard deal done and we don't want to leave ourselves skint. So we decide to say that we'll qualify for the Europa League and reach the quarterfinal of the Cup in an attempt to get £5 million. And we get a lovely message from the board. As I said before, we got one of the best chairmen in the business based on expectations and things. He says that's fine, gives us the whole £5 million. So we can go back, get Vestergaard. That gives us 3 absolutely solid centre-backs in Zouma, Bartra and Vestergaard. You can see here a load of other players that we'd bid for and that we were in negotiations with just as contingency plans, but we don't need them anymore. We got the 2 guys that we wanted. We set out to get them at the start of the season, and we got Coquelin as well. So 3 excellent new additions to the side as far as I'm concerned. You can see us now rejecting some of the players that we were negotiating with. Van Dijk, Santana, they'd all agreed terms to join the club, which is flattering to say the least, but it's just unfortunate that we couldn't sign them all. Ruben Vetso as well. He was a decent player. I use him on Ultimate Team. He's very, very good. But in terms of departures now, Yeovil have come in for Jake Gray. He spent last year on Fleetwood, I do believe, so no room for him in the squad. But we're going to have a quick look at the transfers that have gone through. Vidio, Coquelin, Bartra and Vestergaard are the players that have joined. Alex McCarthy, Connor Wickham, Jonathan Williams, he's out on loan. Sully Kai and Hunt have all left the club. So in terms of transfer business, I'm very pleased with what we've managed to achieve this season. We've assembled somewhere near the squad that we wanted to. We feel we've got good options in pretty much every position. But that's where we're going to end the episode here, guys. We'll be taking on newly promoted Sheffield Wednesday in the opening day in the next episode. So drop a like, subscribe if you're new, and we will see you again next time.